This is the last chapter of What If Naruto Was a Sword Emperor. Please leave a like and subscribe, and please leave a comment. Chunin exams finals and invasion. Welcome everyone to Konoha no Sato Chunin exam final. I am Gemma Shiranui, and I will be the final proctor. First match is Prince Uzumaki Namikaze, Naruto vs Neji Hyuga. Fighters, please come down to the arena. Neji walked down the arena and started looking for Naruto. Then he started speaking. So, where is that so-called prince? But then, on the next side of the arena, Naruto appeared in a flash of crimson lightning. Protzer asked both Ready Neji and Naruto. They just nodded their heads. Then, let's begin the fight. Neji started to speak. You'd better give up, Prince, because fate has decided that today I'm going to win. But then, a cut appeared on Neji's left cheek. Neji activated his Byakugan and saw that there were swords of various sizes and shapes around Naruto and behind his back. Neji tried to say something, but then he felt pain. When he looked at his right arm, he noticed that it had been cut down at the shoulder. Neji then started screaming in pain. Neji, overwhelmed by pain and his intense hatred, lunged at Naruto. His mind clouded with rage. He charged towards Naruto, intending to strike his heart with his left arm. However, he was unable to get close as his left arm had been severed into pieces, resembling a sliced banana. The spectators in the stands were left in utter shock by Naruto's actions against Neji. Then Naruto started walking calmly, with no emotion on his face towards Neji. When he was close, he leaned towards the right side of Neji's head and said, "That's all the stadium heard. Neji, I told you in the Forest of Death that you're going to pay for what you did to Hinata." Naruto leaned back, turned away from Neji, and started walking. Then Naruto stated that his opponent couldn't fight anymore. Gemma Shiranui was shocked by the brutality Naruto displayed towards his opponent. But then he heard Naruto's words and announced, "The winner of the first match is Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto." Almost everyone lost their breakfast after the first match. Then Naruto disappeared from the arena with a crimson flash of lightning and appeared in the waiting room, where all the finalists and their senses were. Everyone just looked at Naruto's blank face. Then Naruto started to walk to Team 7's waiting spot. As he walked past Sand Team, Gaara said, "Mother is afraid of him and told me to run away from him." When Tamari, Kankuro, and Baki heard what Gaara said, they got worried because they know who Gaara's mother is. At the same time, in the cage's meeting place, the Kazekage said, "Well, Hakage-sama, you have dangerous shinobi in your ranks." But inside, Orochimaru was scared himself. Let's take a short pause for a promotional break. Naruto, banished from Konoha, undergoes Wuxia training and masters the Dragon Fist. Returning to his village, he proves his worth and gains acceptance, embodying growth and perseverance lessons. Naruto, a ninja from Hidden Leaf Village, is transported back in time, facing a familiar yet different world. With determination and knowledge, he navigates pivotal historical moments. Now that it's done, let's go back to the story. After seeing what Naruto did, and when he looked at him from the corner of his eyes, his one red eye was like hellfire, and the other blue like the ocean. Hiruzen then began to speak. Yes, Naruto has changed during this 1-month break. Then, 3 voices were heard as Hiruzen looked behind. It was Reikage, Tsuchika Jonoki, and Mizukage Terumi, who walked into the cage booth. Hiruzen looked at them and said, "I thought that the 3 of you wouldn't have time to come and watch the Chunin exams because there are no shinobi from your villages in the finals." Reikage then answered, "When I heard that my dead friend's son is in the finals, I wanted to see how his village treated him. But based on what I heard coming here, I think Minato and Kushina would be very disappointed if they knew what the village did after they gave their lives to protect it. Then Susage said, I have a marriage contract for Naruto and my granddaughter, Kurotsuchi. But the three of us received a message that Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto died on the same night as his parents. Theon Hiruzen said, I don't even know about marriage contracts between Naruto and three of your villages. Then, Naruto appeared in the cage booth in a crimson lightning flash with four papers in his hands. You mean these? Hokage-sama. Naruto gave documents to Hiruzen to read. Naruto looked at the three village cages and bowed. It's nice to meet you, cages. My name is Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto. Hiruzen asked Naruto, where did you get the marriage contracts? Naruto just shrugged and said, from the scrolls my parents left me. Behind Onoki, his granddaughter and her father were standing. Behind his two daughters Yugidoni and Samui were standing. Behind Meitarumi, there were two men standing, one old and the other young. Naruto didn't care who they were. Theon Kurotsuchi, Samui, Yugido and Meitarumi walked forward to Naruto and looked at him. Naruto looks at them all and starts speaking. I must marry these four beautiful roses. I'm the luckiest man alive. Then Naruto kisses all of their hands. Theon Kurotsuchi, Yugido, Samui, and Mei started to blush like crazy and at the same time thought, what a man! All the men in the cage booth thought lucky bastard, except Orochimaru, because he loves little boys. But then all of them turned their attention back to the arena, where the announcer declared the fifth match, Uchiha Sasuke versus Gaara of the Sand, the finalists. Please come down. Gaara came down using sand body flicker. Jonin came to Hiruzen and said, Hokage-sama, we can't find Uchiha Sasuke and Jonin Haddock Kakashi anywhere. What should we do? Hiruzen looked at the corner where the other cages and Naruto were speaking with his fiancés, then looked back at the arena and said, disqualify Uchiha Sasuke if he can't come in time for the finals. He's not worthy of becoming a Chunin. Jonin appeared in the arena near Genma and said Hokage-sama ordered to disqualify Uchiha Sasuke for not showing on time. Genma just nodded his head and said aloud, Uchiha Sasuke is disqualified for being late. The winner by default is Gaara of the Sand. Next match, Aburame Shino versus Kankuro of Sand. Come to the arena. Are you both ready? Shino nodded his head. When Genma wanted to say begin, Kankuro said aloud, I'm forfeit. Winner by forfeit, Aburame Shino. The next match is Temari of Sand versus Shikamaru Nara. When they arrived at the arena, Genma asked, are you both ready? Then, they began. Temari leaped backward and opened her fan to reveal 3 stars, then attacked with Wind Style, Wind Scythe. Shikamaru dodged and used fast-paced hand signs, saying Nara style, Shadow Prison Jetsu. He caught Temari in shadow and then said aloud, I give up. He released Temari and walked back to the waiting room. Winner by forfeit, Temari of the Sand. Shino Aburame, for not having an opponent, advances to the next round. Temari of the Sand, for not having an opponent, advances to the next round. Next match, Temari of Sand versus Shino Aburame. Temari and Shino come to the arena and forfeit at the same time. Genma's eyebrow started to twitch with anger as he announced the final match of the Chunin exams. Uzumaki Namikaze, Naruto versus Gaara of the Sand. Gaara appeared in a whirlwind of sand, and Naruto appeared in a crimson flash of lightning. Genma asked both fighters if they were ready, and then, in the middle of Naruto and Gaara, Kakashi appeared with Sasuke in a leaf body flicker. Kakashi asked, are we late? Genma answered, yes, Hataki. You're late by almost 2 hours. Thea and Kakashi looked around and asked, "Where is Naruto?" Jimma just pointed his finger at Naruto's side. When Kakashi and Sasuke looked at Naruto, their eyes almost popped out of their heads. Kakashi asked Naruto, "Is it really you?" Naruto answered with a blank face, "No, I'm your dame." Kakashi then said, "Naruto, I know that you're angry, but you must give your place to Sasuke." Sasuke just smirked and said, "You're a loser. Get the fuck out of the arena." Naruto raised his right eyebrow and asked, "And why should I give you my place in the finals when you were with my father's disgrace of a student?" And he just sucked your dick like a little bitch he is. Everyone in the stadium started to laugh like crazy. Even the Hyugas, who are usually stoic like rocks, laughed at Kakashi and Sasuke. Then Sasuke activated his Sharingan and used Chidori, then ran at Naruto and screamed, "I'm gonna kill you, like my father wanted to do a long time ago." However, Sasuke didn't get very close because his right arm, where Chidori was, got cut into many small Uchiha cubes. When Orochimaru saw what had happened, he ordered the invasion to begin with his arm. Upon witnessing the event, Naruto glanced at the Ambu, who had started performing hand signs. However, upon closer inspection, Naruto realized that it was Kabuto wearing Ambu armor and a mask. Nevertheless, Kabuto had not yet finished putting everyone in the stadium under a sleeping Genjutsu. As Kabuto's head rolled down from his body next to Orochimaru's legs, all the cages, and Orochimaru looked around to identify Kabuto's killer. They observed how the ninja from Oto Gakure and the sand were cutting down those surrounding Naruto. Around the cages and following Shinobi, a purple barrier was created. Naruto then started going towards the barrier, but Kakashi stopped Naruto and ordered him to go stop. "Gaara," Naruto looked back at Kakashi and said, "How about you, Haddock? You follow him and show that you have some usefulness." Naruto, while still walking, created 1,000 shadow clones and ordered them to kill everyone from Oto Gakure and Sand. "We are not going to take survivors and hostages." When Naruto was near the barrier, he simply looked at it. Then he commanded his sword to help him pass through it. As the cages and Orochimaru prepared to fight, Orochimaru observed how 1,000 shadow clones of Naruto were mercilessly slaughtering the Suna and Otogakure shinobi. Then Orochimaru watched as some force cut the barrier wall and let Naruto inside. Then it closed. Naruto looked at Orochimaru and said, "You're gonna die, Snake." Here and today, Orochimaru tried to attack Naruto, but in a few seconds, Orochimaru was cut into pieces. Then, he turned into an earth clone and disappeared. Orochimaru appeared from the ground behind Naruto, but he was cut in half from head to legs. Then Orochimaru tried to do some jutsu, but his arm was cut into banana pieces. It happened 20 minutes. Orochimaru appeared and was cut into pieces. Then Orochimaru thought, "I need to get out of here. One more death, and I will not have a body to change." When Orochimaru ordered to lower the barrier, Orochimaru's elite were also cut into pieces. Then Orochimaru tried to run, but he was cut in half. When he shed his last skin, he was paler than before. His chakra was almost gone. He tried again to run, but he was cut into pieces for the last time. Around the world, Orochimaru's experiments screamed because the cursed seal burned away from their bodies. Only for cages stood and watched. As Naruto just walked away, Hiruzen shook his head and asked Naruto, "Where are you going?" Naruto just looked back and said, "To destroy Tonuki." Then he disappeared in a crimson lightning flash. When Naruto appeared in a flash of crimson lightning, he sent the same swords that had destroyed the Kyuubi towards Gaara. Upon contact with Gaara, he began to scream. After a few minutes, His screams ceased. Naruto closed his eyes and, upon reopening them, found himself within Gaara's seal, gazing at Shikaku no Tanuki. Naruto remarked, "You're even uglier than Kyuubi. Goodbye." In front of Naruto, Shukaku vanished in the same manner as Kyuubi. And we're going to end this chapter here. It is the last chapter, so please leave a like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts about this story.